What is up, guys? It's Chase. Welcome. I'm an amateur photographer in Columbus, Ohio. I own my own photography business. I've been doing it for about a year. I tried making a YouTube channel maybe 6 to 8 months ago. I recognized that I wasn't ready. I wasn't experienced enough myself to be telling people things. So I took a step back, really focused on my business and my photography and the quality of my work, and now I'm back with some stuff that I know you guys can use. So I'm going to talk about 5 topics. I know you guys have heard some of them before, but if I put them in this video, then I feel like I have something different to say and something to kind of add on or weigh in on the conversation of wherever else you've heard that. So with that, let's go. Alright, so topic number 1, get to work. If you're not out there at the end of the day laying in bed like, oh dude, I don't know if I can do this anymore, this is so exhausting, then you're not doing it right. There is 1,000,001 things to learn out there. You need to find what you're interested in, what is it that you want to shoot, and you need to tailor your business around that. So when I'm building my portfolio, those are the kind of photos that I want to highlight. I want to say, hey, this is what I do. But also, don't be afraid to try something new. I started out never wanting to shoot, shouldn't say it like that, never wanting to shoot people, but no, I didn't start out wanting to photograph people. I always thought that people would be too picky and I just didn't want to deal with it. And then I ran into a situation where I got an opportunity to do it, and as I suggest, take every opportunity you can get. So I took that opportunity and I actually fell in love with it, and now it's all I want to do. So you can't just throw things on the back burner. You gotta at least give it a try once. If you don't like it, don't do it again. Be an overachiever. That is huge. You have to go out there and do more work. People see you moving forward and progressing. They want to be a part of that. You need to show people that, hey man, I'm here and I'm serious about this. So with all that, you need to do free work. Take this year to get better, make some mistakes, learn from other people, get through this first year so that way you can go on and make a successful second year. And lastly, before we move on to the next tip, please never forget to thank the people that gave you a chance before you made yourself a name. Thank them, because they gave you a chance before they really knew what you were capable of. And that's why it's important for when you're doing all this free work, you have to go out there and you have to absolutely kill it. Alright, so topic number 2 is slow down. I know that's contradictory to what I just said. I just told you to hurry up, get out there and get to work. This is going to be applied a little bit differently. This is more talking about the actual process of doing that work. You're going to be learning a lot really fast, and you're going to be taking in a lot of information and doing a lot on top of that. So you just need to kind of take a step back and just make sure that you're doing everything the best that you can. It is really insane how much of a difference it can make when you're getting everything right. The crop, the exposure, all your settings and things like that. I'm not going to go super into depth, but basically when you nail that exposure, it just really complements the skin when you're doing portraits. It makes your work 10 times easier later on in post-processing. There is no reason to take 10 photos and only use one. You don't want to get home later on and say, dude, I really like this picture, but I'm kind of upset because the crop was weird, and you just can't work with it to make it look how you want to look. You just got to trash that image and be like, screw it, or just sit there and accept the mediocre work that you did. Another thing is focus. Make sure you are really nailing that focus. The worst thing is looking down at that LCD screen and saying, ooh man, that's crispy, that's really nice, that's really in focus, and then you get home and it's just not quite as good as you thought. Just slow down. Your clients would much rather have 5 amazing images instead of 25 crappy images. Just don't overwhelm yourself and don't get distracted. Like, think about it. If you're doing a wedding, obviously the details of the wedding, the cake and all that stuff and the decorations, that's important, yes. But if you are taking away quality from the main photos that you're really going to want to get, they're going to want to have those photos more importantly than they're going to want to have the photos of the details. Of course they want it all. That's what they hired you to do, so you need to do your job. But just don't get hung up on all the little things to the point where it's taking away your attention from the important things. And in portraits, that's like creative portraits like I do on Instagram, that's something that I've kind of struggled with a little bit, is when you're walking by and you see something really cool that you're like, oh, that would look sweet in the background. Make sure that you remember that the model is your subject. You want the background to complement the model, not steal attention away. Make sure you got your subject nicely in focus so it really separates them from the background, and make sure you use it the right way. You don't want people to look at it and the first thing they say is, dude, that bridge is dope. No, you want to direct their eyes to the model first and then you can use that bridge and maybe use its lines to lead them through the photo. You don't want them to just skip over what's in the foreground and then go straight to the background. It doesn't matter what the background is. You might see it as a great picture because you got this stunning background. But guess what? The picture's not about the background. The picture is about the subject. Alright, so that's that. Just take all this information and kind of just take a step back and make sure you're doing everything right. Alright, so we are on to topic number 3, which is plan your shoots. If they're spontaneous and someone hits you up, like if someone called me right now and was like, hey, you want to shoot? I'd be like, yeah, I'm down. I'm on my way. You don't have time to plan. I get it. Kill it. But if you have time, plan. Like when you can, plan. Hey, I kind of like that. When you can, plan. Alright, that's fucking dumb. Anyway, it's going to step your game up. Use props and use different lighting and outfits and play with the shadows. Add something extra to your photo. This is what's going to help you build your style and define your style and brand yourself. And it's also a great thing for those days where you're really unmotivated and you just feel like you need to jump out there and try something extra creative, or you just want to go and take your photos to the next level. You don't always just have to go to some crazy cool place. Just plan the photos that you want to get so you know when you get home that you killed it and you captured those cool ass pictures. Like make mood boards for people. I send mood boards to some of my models and stuff. Just gather a collection of inspirational images, put them together in some creative way that kind of tells a story and explains what it is that you want to capture, and send it to them. The more that you communicate with your model, the better the pictures are going to end up being. Just have some sort of plan that's not just going to have you going out there like, that looks cool, let's shoot by that. And then have a backup plan. If you are going to shoot at a hotel and you don't know if you're allowed to shoot there, don't just plan to shoot at that hotel. Have a plan so if you go in there and they're like, hey, you guys, you can't do that, your shoot's not totally ruined. If you have a backup plan and you guys are kind of expecting that things might not go as planned, then it's less of a letdown. Okay, so topic number 4, this is actually going to be one of the more straightforward topics that we're talking about because we're talking about editing. It's just kind of a general overview of things you should pay attention to. So for editing, I mean, there's just a couple things I want to mention. There's a lot of things that you can do to ruin your photos when you're a beginner. Don't over edit your photos. You don't want your portraits to look like you airbrushed the skin. Leave some texture. People would really enjoy a photo in its rawest form over a photo that is way over edited. Trust me. Take a step back and say, is this really how I want this to be edited when I post it? I know how bad that you want to post that first photo that you edit after a shoot. You get back and you pick out that one that you've been eyeing the whole shoot and you're like, oh yeah, that looks freaking dope. And then you go back later, edit some different ones differently, better, apply that edit to the first photo you edited, and then you're like, crap, well I already posted it. That's happened to me so many times. There's times where I've been like, dude, I've almost gone on Instagram and taken a post down just to repost it. I'm pretty sure I have done that before. Just get it right the first time. Another way to complement that is to check your edits on a different screen. If you edit on your laptop, check it out on your phone. Make sure the colors are right. Make sure the exposure looks good. Just make sure it translates well through to another device. And it also gets you a fresh set of eyes on it. If you don't have someone right there, if you don't have a second pair of eyes with you to take a look at it, looking at it on a different screen can kind of give you a different way to look at it, and you can kind of pick out some things that you might not have noticed. Another real quick thing, make sure that you are editing how your client wants you to be editing. For example, a corporation who has you come in to do headshots for their employees is not going to want you to edit the photos the same way that you edit your creative portraits that you post on Instagram. They're going to want them to be natural, professional, and clean looking. They're going to want you to correct things, of course. Keep it nice, clean, and professional. Alright, so you made it. You made it to the last topic. This is topic number 5, which is learn and network. It's so important. That's why I made it the last one. Never stop learning. There is no point where you should feel like you can stop learning. You know, things like YouTube are great. Like, obviously, you're on YouTube watching this right now. I go on YouTube all the time and I'm looking at tutorials and things and vlogs and just anything and everything that I can learn from. But eventually you're going to get to a point where you're not really sure what to look for anymore. Content is out there, it is probably free somewhere, but you do not know exactly where to look to find it or what you're looking for. So what I suggest that you do, reach out to somebody that's more experienced than you are and, you know, maybe do an editing session with them. Shadow them, talk to them, pick their brains, see if they want to meet for coffee. Sometimes you might have to pay. Chances are you probably will. Like if you want to do an editing session with a photographer, you're probably going to have to pay. But free doesn't always cut it. Paying for that one session is going to get you the same amount of knowledge in that 1 hour session that you probably would have learned in 10 hours of watching YouTube videos, just because you're picking through all of the stuff that people are talking about to get to these major points. You sit there and you can watch them do it right in front of you. That's enough about learning. You know how important that is. So now networking. You need to get business cards. You need to advertise on social media. And I have stickers on the back of my car that say my Instagram and my photography company. That might actually get you a client. And if it gets you one client, it's done its job, because now that client can go tell, as long as you kill the shoot, that's the most important part, is when you get these opportunities, you have to go out there and absolutely kill it. Go prepare and then kill that shoot. And then that client is going to go tell a bunch of his friends or her friends that you're a dope photographer. It's networking, man. The last thing that I'm going to add real quick is take any opportunity you can get. I'm going to tell you a little story real quick. So I was at the park, and this is when I was really new to photography, and I was just walking around taking some pictures of nature. There was some event going on. I think it was a baby shower, and I had a guy run over to me and was like, "Hey man, if I grab my wife and bring her over here, would you take some like couples pictures for us real quick?" And I was like, yeah, man. As scared as I was, and I had never taken a picture of a person before, like in that aspect. This is that time where I was like, I'm never going to do portraits. I'm never going to want to photograph people. But then I took this opportunity, captured some really awesome moments. Like I was back home editing them, and I was looking at them, and I just looked at the way they were looking each other in the eyes, and I could just tell they were so in love, and they were happy, and it was great. And then all of a sudden, boom, that's all I want to do now. So it's really important to take those opportunities and try something before you write it off. You guys made it to the end. This is my second time filming this. I spent 4.5 hours editing, and once I got done, I realized that my cat was sitting right here, legs wide, licking herself, like for like 90% of the video. Tried to like cover it up with a little logo or something the whole time, and I was like, that's not gonna work. Don't forget to smash that like button and that subscribe button. Show your friends. If you have somebody that's new to photography that you think can benefit from this video, show it to them. Now, it's up to you to go out there and take this information and use it the right way and go kill some shoots and go build your business, guys.